appearance, especially considering how hard it is to get back to this point?
Yeah, I remember Roethlisberger winning it, and he seemed like a baby. You know, and he's riding that Steeler defense and Bill Cowher and all that. And you just think, how could you be younger than, I mean, even, you know, Tom Brady beating the Rams back in the day, significantly older than Drake May is sitting here. And there's this idea, I always come back to this. You know, you look at Drake May now and Mike Vrabel and what they've built, and there's this temptation to very naively say, well, you know, they're set up for success for a long time, and they'll be back. That's nonsense. Don't ever think that way. You better cash this one in, because Joe Burrow was in a Super Bowl in his second year. Do we think the Bengals are going to be in the Super Bowl anytime soon? I'm sorry, but they haven't been. He didn't cash it in. I always say I have this vivid memory of Aaron Rodgers on the podium in the Super Bowl with the confetti falling, and him and Clay Matthews had championship wrestling belts. And every talking head and every TV host was saying the same thing. Well, get used to seeing this. They're going to rip off. Never made it back. Then didn't make it back. So I've heard this before, that the Patriots are playing with house money, and they're so young that, you know, this one is just a gravy. Nonsense. The odds say that Drake May will not return to the Super Bowl. This will be it. It's very tough to get here. And later in the show, we will once again talk about maybe it's not so tough to get here if you're the 2025 Patriots. So cash this in, because there is no assurance of anything in the future. I don't care.
So I'm going to start off by saying that, look, I think that I'll say this. You can only play the schedule you were given. And I think the Patriots were given a very easy schedule. I think they performed well with it. Like, you can only play the teams you play. They beat some of the best defenses in the playoffs so far. That being said, I will absolutely 100% be looking towards strength of schedule moving forward for the bottom, like 3 or 4 schedules. Because when you break it down and you look at the 32nd, 31st, 30th, and 29th strength of schedule and see what their fantasy numbers look like, they were all good. They were all good. So I don't always agree. I know I'd be happy just to see the Bills make one. I never got to see everyone's like, oh, you love losing Super Bowls, boy. I'm like, dude, I wasn't around for that. I just want to see one. And then I got my smug little 10-year-old looking at me like he's like, what you, dude? Let me show you what just came in the mail. I owed it to him. This is not how I pictured Super Bowl week happening for me. But this came in the mail, and I can't find him a kid's jersey, so he got a T jersey. He just got himself a Sam Darnold Seahawks jersey shirt. Staring at me with his smug little, my team made it before yours look. That freaking punk with his little judgy eyes. Screw that little kid. Dang it. But I'm happy for him. He better enjoy it. Because like Kyle Brandt just said, the odds are against these guys to ever make it again. It's very rare for a quarterback. And like I saw this week, they brought up the Bills' 4 Super Bowls. They said, people love to make fun of that, but it'll probably never happen again where a team goes to the Super Bowl 4 years in a row. Win or lose. Win some, lose some, win all, lose all. It'll probably never happen again where a team gets to go 4 years in a row, which is pretty weird. Just sucks they didn't. That picture made you smile. It actually did me too. I drank out of that cup yesterday. You saw. This morning I came down, he's like, this is my cup. Because yesterday I was drinking out of it. He goes, what are you drinking my cup for? It's like, whatever, dude. Good luck to everybody. We got 2021 Optic Hobby. Here we go. One autograph, but we're looking for the downtown. We're looking for numbered cards. Let's see what we can find. There is some more One Piece Up, a box. I think we got our autograph right out of the gate. We did. It's going to be a Trey Lance Gridiron Kings. That's a rookie, though. And what did I just say? I brought him up the other day. That's actually really cool. 21 out of 99. It's a good-looking card. Maybe this will be one of those cool boxes where every card is an autograph. Every pack, is an autograph. We just talked about it the other day where I said, hey, if Sam Darnold could do it, and I think it was Jamie was like, Trey Lance. But, dude, if you go back just 2 years, the year before Sam Darnold played for the Vikings, and I said, maybe Sam Darnold could be a guy to collect. Dude, this summer, I had Trey Sermon, another one for the Niners. Who had the Niners, by the way? Congrats, Dougie. I had Sam Darnold cards in a pile at a card show, and my wife and kids were out in the car. We were getting ready to go on a vacation, and I stopped at this card show on the way out of town, and I was negotiating with the guy, and he didn't really want to come down on it. I'm like, you know what? I got to go anyhow. It's cool. I just put them all back. I genuinely regret doing that, obviously. DK Metcalf, my house, Prism, looking sharp for the Seahawks, going out to Cody. What up, brother? Tin? But like that's what I'm saying, Josh Blanchard. When do we start to say like, all right, who's going to be the next Sam Darnold? Although his cards haven't popped yet, and a lot of times after a guy wins the Super Bowl, his cards just kind of ride the line, maybe even decrease a little bit. But I think there's still room on his. I really do. DeAndre Hopkins for the Cardinals. He wants to join the Bills. At a $2.99 going out to Jeffrey Blomberg. Some of these Optic numbered cards, lower ones, even on bets, do really well. So hopefully we find something there. Sutton, Ward, Kelvin Joseph, and a Will Fuller out of 179 for Miami going out to Carl. I know, I said, I think especially before they were all in the retail, I don't think they were. I saw what some of them were going for. You like that? So yeah, I think that there might be a time to buy on like guys like Trey Lance right now. How about a Micah Parsons pink laser out of 79? Thomas, I missed Thomas. Somehow I was in such a hurry. I typed in the first name, the second name, the third name in the mini, and then I skipped down to 10. Actually typed in someone else, but Thomas was quick to fix it for me. So thank you, Thomas, for getting that cleared up before we went live. I appreciate it. Let me go get my my card stands here. That'll do well. And that's what I'm talking about. I think you'll be incredibly shocked at what that card could do right there. I really do. Especially if you get that graded. It does well. DeAndre Swift. Kadarius Toney. How about a Jalen Darden? Optic Hollow. So with the 2025 being so expensive, I just think this is the time you go and you hit some of the other years. You're still, like, the reason it's so expensive isn't because there's Jackson Dart autos in it or because there's, Cam Ward. It's because of the numbered cards and because of the downtowns. Well, you can still get it in the other years. As a matter of fact, I feel like they might have been more prevalent with with a larger vet autograph list in prior years than there are now. I know. I'm still working on the 3D printer. Matter of fact, my son and I just did one. There's a Jimmy G numbered out of 179 blue. Another one for the Niners. So I'll show you what we just printed last night. My son wants to make magnets and sell them for $1 or $2 at the next card show. We got the Jolly Roger out of one piece. So we've been printing those. He has the toy box printer. Chris, I ended up sending back that other printer. We could not get it. I think there was like something inherently wrong with it. So we're still looking for one for my son now. Hayden Hurst for the Falcons Optic. Yeah, that like $100 on that, right? And that's raw. That's what I'm saying. I think that there's opportunity in the other years, even without the new class. What up, Tony? How you doing today? Kelly. We got a Mac Jones legendary logos. I mean, maybe this is another example of a Sam Darnold, right? He got thrown in this year and did okay when he had a shot in San Fran, but still learning. I saw a bit, like a little like clip of a show. I forget what it was. It was one of the talk shows. Jamar Jefferson, Nick Bolton Blue out of 299, and it said, if you're not Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes good anymore, teams don't want you. And they said, excellence, how was it? Like, perfection has become the enemy of great, I think was the line. And they were pretty much saying, like, these teams move on from these quarterbacks so early. So early. But guys like Tom Brady set behind, Aaron Rodgers set behind, and now it's like Mac Jones wasn't good the first year or two, boom, get out of there. Sam Darnold, boom, get out of there. Baker Mayfield, boom, get out of there. And these guys are performing. Look how hard it is to get into a Super Bowl. Josh Allen hasn't done it yet. You're not going to sit here for a minute and tell me he shouldn't be in the conversations of the best quarterback in the league. You could argue that there's maybe one or two better. Sure, I'll listen to it. But like, player for player, all teams aside, he's arguably the best quarterback in the league. He still hasn't reached a Super Bowl. Right? But if these quarterbacks don't get their team to the playoffs, it's like, oh, it must be your fault. Well, I just think they're trying to move on from guys before they have to pay them a second contract if they're not already performing. Because you're seeing it with like, there's a Rousseau and an Aaron Rodgers hollow. You're seeing it with guys like Kyler Murray getting paid, guys like Tua getting paid. Oh, we're developing. They didn't develop. And now we're stuck with this guaranteed. Well, maybe stop giving so much guaranteed money to those guys. Let another team come take them away from you. Don't just give up on them. Or do. There's a Kyle Pitts. Wonder where he's going to go. I wouldn't disagree with you there, Tony. But Lance had his moment, like in preseason this year. He had a moment where it was like, all right, could this guy be something? I know it's preseason, but you got to go somewhere. How about a Dominator's Mahomes? I don't remember seeing that card. Two packs to go. Let's see if we can at least get another nice short print here. Maybe a downtown still. Ooh, here's a green one. Irv Smith. Elijah Mitchell. And a Najee Harris rated rookie out of 35. Still some gas left in that machine, I'm sure. Pittsburgh Steelers going out to... I'm not seeing that. Did I skip hoping that on the list? Oh, they're down at the bottom because they're in all caps. Tracy Mahone. When I sorted that, I was like, where the heck? Somehow they got put down at the bottom because of all caps. I'm not sure what happened there, but Mahone got him. And we're going to get a Nick Bosa. It's going to be not rated rookie. We got a Waddle. That's a rated rookie Waddle. Nick Bosa out of 199. Thanks, G-Dot. Yeah, it is. And you know, that's what Brandon Bean's thing was. He was like, listen, man, you can't pay two quality receivers and a quarterback and then have a team that's going to perform. And I think he was referencing the Bengals when he did that in the press conference. Pretty much saying, like, look, sure, they went and paid T. Higgins, they went and paid Jamar Chase, and they went and paid Joe Burrow. And now they couldn't pay. They're going to let Hendrickson walk. They're going to let these other guys walk. Burrow's hurt because they don't have a line. They're getting can't throw the ball because he's under pressure constantly. So that was his point. He's like, you can't play without an offensive line. So I don't know why it did that. I must have moved it down. Russ is a tool. Bosa out of 199. Najee Harris out of 35. Patrick Mahomes. Kyle Pitts Mainers out of 125. Nick Bolton out of 299. Jimmy G to 179. Jalen Darden. My House Seahawks. Will Fuller, and that was DK Metcalf. Will Fuller out of 179 and Hopkins out of 299. Legendary logos, Mac Jones. The Micah Parsons and the Trey Lance here. This is probably going to be the more valuable card. Micah Parsons out of 79 and the Trey Lance Gridiron Kings rookies out of 99. Two pretty cool cards. No downtown, though. And that's all she wrote for that one. I have another box to do with that, but I was going to... Wait, I got to get around the Super Bowl mix. It sounds like you guys want a 150 spot, which should allow me to put a good bit of product in. So I just kind of have to figure out what I want that to look like. It still doesn't go as far as I'd like it to, but far enough that we can rip some stuff. So yeah, we'll figure it out. All right, guys, I'm going to roll for now. If you're interested in anything, we got that nerdy stuff One Piece. I love it. I can't wait to rip more. I might open another box myself today. There's still 6 spots in that left if you're interested. But if not, We will see you soon. Hopefully you guys have a good day. Maybe the best day of your whole life. See you guys.